It's as if the human population is behaving like little more than a herd of monkeys if they're so easily manipulated.
Yes, that's true. The solution to it, of course, is high information voters. I mean, at the same time, you look at this, when you and I, we're of almost the same age, and when we were growing up, you took a civics class. Everybody. I think I did it in the 7th grade.
Yes.
Where you learned the 3 branches of government and what their roles were and how democracy worked.
What is expected of a good citizen.
Yes, exactly. They don't teach those classes anymore. We now know from studies that, for instance, during the Obama administration, more college students could identify Kim Kardashian than could identify Joe Biden. I mean, that's just, if you think about it for a second, it's quite extraordinary. The vice president of the United States was less well known than a woman who is very successful at what she does, although I'm not quite sure what that is, but everybody recognizes
it. Yes,
I saw a cartoon not too long ago in which the question was, how did the Congress vote? None of the students knew the answer. What did Kim Kardashian's dog have for breakfast? Everybody put their hand up. I mean, we laugh, and yet it's also a commentary on what's going on. Now, I think the question we need to ask is, what can we do to counteract this?
You and I have done a previous interview on, for example, meditation.
Yes.
Meditation is beneficial in almost every way for everybody, and I can't help but think that it also fits into the idea of creating a brain wave state or a brain state, a neurological state that is conducive to optimal voting.
Yes, exactly. You take the words out of my mouth. 2 things that we could do would be to implement mindfulness training. You can't call it meditation because religious people sometimes object to that. The Christians see it as some sort of Eastern, satanic, whatever. So we call it mindfulness training. You institute mindfulness training in schools. As I gave you the example in another of our interviews about schools in San Francisco and how they discovered that when they instituted mindfulness training, that violence dropped enormously, that dropout rates decreased significantly, that student attendance and student general health increased. So we institute mindfulness training. The other one is the quotidian choice. We train people to be aware when they're making a choice, and to consistently choose of the options available to them that which is the most compassionate and life-affirming.
And people have the opportunity many dozens of times a day, usually, to make life-affirming choices.
That's right. And I mentioned these 2 things because I think the takeaway, and I hope the people who watch this will take away from this interview, is that you have to become proactive to create a social awareness of the importance of well-being. And if you look at the societies that have done that, particularly the Nordic countries or New Zealand, places like that, where they make well-being a social priority, they teach their kids this in school, where you make available social institutions that support well-being, you create a culture in which people tend to stand together. They come together. They are willing to make sacrifices that will allow others to advance. That you can create a social structure which values compassion and well-being, and it has to be done on a proactive basis. I would say that one of my major criticisms of social progressives and liberals in the United States is that they are complacent. They take for granted that they resist things that they object to, but they do not proactively create things that they that will support well-being and compassion. and that if we're going to survive as a democracy, we must begin to do this.